Hey, what's up, guys? So I want to do a quick little review and kind of talk you guys through what you guys should probably be doing on the weekends, because it's going to give you a lot of screen time. It's going to give you a lot of experience, and especially if you guys have went through the beginner course, you guys should already have done DOS. And if you have DOS Trader, then awesome, you guys can use this feature. If you guys have a broker that uses DOS, then you can use the same exact feature, and it's replay mode, and it's awesome because you guys can go back and you can see the stocks and retrade it, and start to really learn how to trade the game or how to play the game of trading. So how I want to walk through this is my thought process on how I go about trading, and this is how I do things. So, depending on how this stock reacts, this is exactly like your thought process. Imagine this is 9:20 in the morning, on whatever day this is, and so the first thing you do, I always start at the top and I walk down. Okay, so the daily, right? Is there any levels above where we're at? So right now we're at 460 and it topped out at 564. Okay, cool. So go to the daily. I'm looking for areas that it either had multi-touches, and what I mean by multi-touches is like here, double topped here. That's 2 levels. That's a significant level. It also was a bottom here. So what used to be support is now resistance. What used to be the floor is now the ceiling. And that's a good way of looking at it. Another place would be like right here. Like you could mark up a bunch of stuff, but I mean you start going up here and it's like that's $8. That's another multi-touch right here at just under $10. In theory, this thing should not be going anywhere near there. So that's going to be more advanced kind of stuff. And for you guys being more beginners, if it goes over 564, it's out of play anymore, because now that's turning into a pop and fell or a gap and extension, which realistically you guys should not be getting into. That's more advanced stuff. And if you guys want to learn how I trade that, then cool. Jump into the subscription and start learning how to do that. But at the very beginning, if you guys are just starting out, you guys have never really traded live, you're just learning how to do paper trading or demo trading, then realistically you want to keep it as simple as possible. So how you do this is I look at it like this, right? So look at the hourly. Alright, so it did find the top end right there. It's got overhead resistance, not very much volume. This is the most volume in recent time. Okay, I go to the 15. Okay, how's it reacting on the 15? So how I like to look at this is I love seeing this long wick. It means that somebody just sold a shit ton of shares into this move. It comes back up. Once again, it can't go any higher. It's the high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. I like seeing that. So for me, that's good. All right, that's on the 15. Do I see any patterns? Like for me, this is an upside down cup. What I'm hoping for is that this does fell down. Okay, cool. On the 15 it looks good. 5 minute, roughly the same thing. It's just a cup, a bunch of lower highs. All right, cool. So go to the 1. What I don't want to see is this thing uptrending. I don't want to see where it looks like it has strength. It looks like people are going to be interested in the stock. I don't want that at all. And so what I do is, if you guys have got Thinkorswim, you guys actually went through my beginner course, you guys should have Thinkorswim. You guys should have all the stuff that you need, so you guys should already know what these levels are. If you don't have Thinkorswim, what you're doing is you're drawing in a fib line. I go down to where it found the low at 455. I'm drawing a line up to the high. So what I need this stock at least at 521 to 540. Okay, cool. That's what I need. So I'm going to start playing this. The other thing is when you start to trade on this, it doesn't have the bid or the ask. So that's the one thing that sucks. It does have times and sales, so that's good. I definitely use times and sales, but realistically, the way that I trade, on God's honest truth, a lot of the reason that I trade is because this is what I did for years, and really, all I need to see the volume and chart patterns. And this is how I became a successful trader, is doing this over and over and over and over and over. And the cool thing about this is you can start to play this, and like I said, it's at 9:21. Cool. Well, I want to fast forward until I see 9:30 down there, and then I'll kick it off. One last thing I want to say, while this works out, is I want to see it react a couple different ways, depending on how it trades. Really, this is actually a great example. I'm going to pause this just in case. I don't know how this thing reacts. I don't want this thing to just go nuts. So if you look at this pattern up here, right? I don't know what the hell happened here. It looks like it's missing. Must have been like a doji or something. But anyways, this is what I like to see. I want to see this, but after 9:30. I want to see it go up. Okay, it's got a candle. This breaks over and stuffs under. Okay, cool. Like honestly, I'd get in a trade on any of these. That's the thing, that it's discretionary on where you get in this trade at. But depending on where you get in at, if you get in at 520, you can't have the same size as 540, because then you're already going to be down an extra 20 cents. So the size that you're going to get in at 520 is completely different than the size that you get at 540. And the second it jumps into the zone, you don't necessarily want to get in right there, because it's at the very bottom. And so for me, the way you got to think about that is like, okay, so this level is at 520. My target is down here like 5, so that's 20 cents, right? On roughly half your size, right? Is that worth it? It depends on how much size you're trading with and what kind of trader you are. If you're a scalper, yeah, that's definitely worth it. If you're a position trader like me, I prefer to be, realistically, I'd be really happy if this thing got up towards, 550s, because that gives me a 50-cent move down to where I cover half. Yeah, that's awesome. I want it as close as I can get to 540, because I can use more size. Because, say you have a $100 risk, right? So that's roughly 25 cents. So that would be 400 and something shares or something like that. Okay, cool. Like, going with whatever that is. If it's down here and it's, roughly a 40-cent risk, and you have a $100 move, that means you can go in with like 200 shares, like a little over 200 shares, whatever it is. So that means that I would be covering 100 shares here. So I would make roughly $16. That's not worth it to me. But what I would do is, if I got in here and say I was in with 200 shares, I would lower my stop to break even once this hit. I would cover half here, and I would cover another half. Let's see, that's 5. This is the 60 minute, 5 minute. Why is this not clicking? Okay. Well, whatever. So 5 minute is down here at 460s. Alright, so that means you would get, what is that? 60 bucks plus 40, so you make $100. Alright, depending on what your risk is, you make $100 and you risk $100. That's not a good trade at all. So you have to kind of think through all this kind of stuff. If that was the case, this would not be worth trading at this level. And so you need to figure out, risk reward kind of thing. That's also why I do things a little bit differently. I I also I have much tighter risk. I'm using much bigger size because I've also been trading for 6 years. At the same time, if you're getting like say 1 to 1, like you're risking 100 to make 100. As long as you have like say an 80% win rate, you can make money doing that. But that's why you need to go back and do this. That's why you need to track your trades because that's the job of it. That's how you know if you're going to make money in the long run or not. And so we're going to start playing this so that I don't start ranting. But the one last thing I wanted to look at was this. So it's got 3.6 million share float. It's already right there. That's a red flag. If you guys went through my red flag criteria, so that means half size. So once again, you need to calculate that in correctly. Short float. It's 9%. All right, it's under 30%. That's good. Low institutional ownership. Perfect. SSR. I don't know if SSR was on. Actually, I'm pretty sure SSR was on. It would be up here. So SSR was not on this day. So that's good. So that's not a red flag. Another thing is it's got 6 gap stats. One of them closes green. 5 closes red. What that means is here in a second, when this starts. Whoop. Whoa, shit. Whoa. Sorry, it's a little. Well, I screwed that up a little bit, but anyways. So if this, what that means is if 5 of them closes red, 5 out of 6 closes red, then awesome. What you're gonna do is, the second this hits 9:30. Pause. Okay, well, it already went, like, that's the one bad thing about trying to speed this shit up. But anyways, so it opened at right here. Okay, so it opened at 478. So what that means is that 5 out of 6 times it closes below 578. Okay, cool. That means that the higher it goes, the better your odds are that you're gonna make money. So I need to lower this way the hell down because this kind of screwed up on me. So one thing that I'm looking at right now is this thing opened here, flushed down, and then ripped back up. Okay, so for me, it's squeezing right now. All right, so it's got 3 million shares. 3 million float. It's trading at 280,000 shares. It already made it into the golden zone. So what I'm trying to do is I want to see it start stuffing out up in here. But I don't necessarily want to take a trade right here. And so I'm not... Luckily I didn't screw this up too bad yet. But I'm not going to take a trade right now. What I want to see is I want to see this thing like react and possibly do like a fake breakout or like, I don't know, start coming up here and start doing this kind of stuff, like longer wicks. So let's play this and let's see what happens. But that's part of the problem is like, you start fast forwarding this stuff, like it can like really shoot off on you. So I wouldn't like to get in right now either because 520s, this thing is was down at 510. Okay, now we're getting back up. So another thing I keep an eye on is how much time is on the thing. I'm in. It's not exactly the best fill. Okay, I'm about to cut it. Okay, no, I'm not. If you watch like how much range this thing's got, this is why I definitely, if I'm going to trade a micro float, I want it to be a lower price stock. I don't like to trade micro floats that are higher priced because they can start moving a lot of range and they can really cut you up really freaking bad. So um, it's holding the $5. I don't like that. The volume's going a little bit higher. Oh shit. Okay. Well, that just tanked. Alright. Okay, I'm already out a lot of my size. Yeah. So, and it halted. So, uh, the reason I covered so quickly is because my second target and my first target, well, I obviously missed that. I basically got this, like most of my shares off at my third target. How I should have done it was, well, I mean, like roughly that is correct. My last little piece is going to be here. Obviously, my stop is break even, but it just halted down. So I would imagine this thing is probably just about to tank. What you could do, actually no, that's more advanced. Like you beginners, just keep it nice and simple. The reason I got in right here, I got a bad fill, wasn't exactly the best thing. Well, actually, since it's got a little bit of time before it pops up. Normally, when I have shit, I don't have my zoom up. But how I normally do it is if, like, say the bids are right here, the ask is here. What I want to see is I want to see this thing shoot through. I want to see, okay, so this thing topped out at, well, that's also a little bit more advanced anyways, too. But anyways, the second you get in here, your risk should just be pre-market high. All right, cool. The volume was roughly about the same. It did like a little intraday fake breakout of the level and then slammed under. Micro float, not exactly the best thing. I'm going to fast forward this, see what happens. But this is how you should be trading a gap and crap. This is literally it. You like, there's two scenarios, especially with you guys as beginners, right? You take a trade, you either win the trade or you lose the trade. That's it. Win or lose. And that's why it's very important to make sure that you guys are calculated in your risk and using the right share size. Because the last thing you guys want is, say your R is $50 or $100 or whatever. The last thing you want is like, say it's $50. Okay, your one R is $50. But then you uncover your P&L and it's like, oh, dude, I just lost $120. Okay, well that's more than one R. That means that you can't have the data showing you if your system's working or if your system's broken or if it is it human error, like what is it? And so you need to keep that in mind when. And another thing, like you saw at the very beginning, you got to be careful with this speed thing. But it's super nice because sometimes, like for instance, actually, oh oops, I was supposed to hide that. I don't want people know. I'm not gonna screw with that. But like, what you could do is you could have your range order. You could, well, okay, your first target got hit. Cool, you have a range order. Well, you either get stopped, break even on the rest of it, or all of your targets hit, and then you can set your range orders, speed this thing up to like say 60 times speed, and you're good to go. So I'm gonna play this forward a little bit. Put my finger on the hotkey. Depending on what happens. Oh, okay. I'm out. Alright. So, what what you could do, like I said, is you set your range order and imagine this wasn't your final target, and even on that I screwed up because I shouldn't have, I lost like 10 cents. Okay, that's shitty. You shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. What you can do is you can literally plug this thing in. So imagine like your stops break even. I'm already out all my size, but okay, now you just leave it alone. All right, well, what happens? And you can literally start speeding this up. You can trade through like 50 stocks in a day. What would take you a month to get that experience, you played in like one day. It can be so amazing. I used to do this, like no joke, when I first started trading stocks on the weekends. I remember this guy, I'm sure I still have the list somewhere. He gave me like 3,000 stocks. I went back and I played this over and over and over again. But then I started to realize that it's all like literally it's literally just supply and demand. And once you start understanding how to, okay, like right here, it's got like a triple bottom right there at 407. Really, for me, I don't see it really breaking under there. There's probably people buying that thing up. If it does, I really don't see it going back down to 350. I could be wrong. Don't really care. But like, you start seeing, if there isn't a volume, this thing's not going to go up at all. And you start piecing together like different patterns. There's different patterns that you're going to start seeing forming on the 5-minute chart, or sometimes like there's plays I do on the hourly or whatever, and really start piecing this stuff together, and you can get so much experience on just a weekend. So like I said, we're going to keep on fast forwarding this a little bit. How fast can you get this thing going? So it only goes up to 500%. And that's the end of the day. Okay, so imagine if, like I said, if your final target didn't hit yet, okay, you'd cover everything at the end of the day. Okay, well, you'd still cover everything down here. That's still a pretty good win. And so this is a way that you guys can go about doing it. It wasn't exactly the best example, but hopefully you guys got something from this. And the good thing is, it's on replay, so I don't really care if anybody sees this. So, but anyways, hope you guys have a good one. Hope you guys learned some stuff from this, and yeah, go back and do this. You like really, DOS Trader is literally only $150 a month. You guys can go back and do this and start making like a bunch of, like, I could send you guys the list that guy sent me where it's like 3,000 shares. You go back and replay every single one of those. I don't know how many years DOS allows you to go back, but it lets you go back. Dude, this is crazy. Holy shit. I could literally go back to when I first started trading stocks. I could go back and retrade every single stock I've ever traded. That's crazy. So yeah, honestly, I'm probably gonna do this shit just for the hell of it. I could literally go back and retrade every single stock that I've traded since the beginning of my career, and see how the stats go. But that's how you gain data and all that kind of good stuff. So I hope you guys found this to be useful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.